The Cloverfield Paradox is the third movie in the Cloverfield franchise. It takes place in the near future, and it's trying to answer some of the questions that everyone has from the first two movies. There's a global energy crisis, and to solve it, a bunch of scientists from the different space agencies around the world are sent up to space to work on this thing called the Shepard Particle Accelerator. They can use this device to create something called the God Particle, which will basically give the world unlimited energy. It's a pretty cool thing, obviously. But once they make their breakthrough after being up in space for 2 years, the Earth just disappears, and the movie is basically about them trying to find it. I don't want to get too far into spoilers, so I'm going to stop explaining the plot there. Right out of the gate, I like where the plot starts. It feels relatable, it's interesting, it's believable. It definitely feels like the near future, so they nailed that aspect of it. The Cloverfield station itself looked great. The digital effects in this movie are on point. The winding hallways all look pretty cool, and it doesn't feel very stale, but it also doesn't feel unique. It feels like it could be replaced with a space station from any other movie like Gravity or Life. I know they had to keep it believable and down to earth, but I wish that they tried to make it just a little more different, if that makes sense. Something I really liked is how diverse the Cloverfield station's crew is. I like that on a surface level. They're pulled from all over the world, so they bring up their country's ideologies with them, and that causes some cool drama and tension throughout the first half of the movie. The problem is, all of these characters are paper thin. Gugu Mbatha-Raw's character of Hamilton is the main character of the movie, but you barely get to know anything about her, and it feels like the plot is pushing her forward the entire time, rather than the other way around like it should be. Chris O'Dowd's character is the best, I think, in the entire movie. He's funny, he's relatable, he has some of the standout moments in the entire thing, and the way he handles some of the situations that are presented to him are just great. It's just awesome. Great writing overall for him, but other than him, none of the characters really stood out to me. Another big problem with this movie is its connection, or lack thereof, to the Cloverfield universe as a whole. So at first I thought it was doing a really good job because it takes place during the first movie, and they kind of front load everything instead of putting it at the end like in 10 Cloverfield Lane. Hamilton at first is connected to Earth because she's able to talk to her husband, but as the plot advances itself, it separates them, so it barely ever cuts back to Earth, and when it does, you don't really care all that much. Like, you know when things are happening, but it doesn't really make sense. Also, I think there's a huge time discrepancy here because this one is very clearly near future, and I'm very almost positive that the first movie took place in 2008. So yeah, I really wish that they would have done a better job connecting it, because one of everyone's biggest complaints about 10 Cloverfield Lane is that it felt like it started out as not a Cloverfield movie and then they connected it later. So if you really didn't like that in 10 Cloverfield Lane, this movie is just gonna piss you off. But I will say that I had a good time watching the movie, mainly because of the fact that it's on Netflix. It kind of has that for free special treat feeling that you get when a new movie comes out on Netflix, even though you're paying for it. I definitely would have been more disappointed if I saw it in theaters like I paid for a ticket. It's fun, it doesn't live up to the other Cloverfield movies by any stretch, and it's just overall pretty shallow. I really hope the fourth movie that's supposedly coming out soon addresses way more of what's going on in this universe, but it takes place in World War II, so I don't really see how it could. I'd like to hear what you think of the movie though down in the comments, as you probably just watched it like me. I've got a bunch of other cool videos on this channel too, so if you haven't subscribed already, you should definitely click the subscribe button and hit the little bell so you get a notification when I upload new videos. But that's all the time I got for today, guys. So as always, my name is Jimmy Champagne, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.